How do I know if it's actually working though? I'm gonna have to here. Hold on, guys. If you're joining the stream immediately, or if you were already in it, I have no idea. I did not give anyone any kind of heads up that I was doing this stream because I'm still experimenting, and a lot of my setups and stuff are taking a little bit. Like right now, where I gotta check and see if it's even working. So, if you join and watch, you could probably skip this part and maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Because I also am going to be streaming on Instagram, which I have to get set up here. Yeah, I've got too many things that I need to plug in at one time. And it makes this kind of difficult. But we will figure it out. In the meantime, it does not look like I'm live, but I still think I am. I can't find it on the
YouTube ใช่ไหม
on YouTube here. Let me see. Let me go to our roast curves, and we'll briefly change it to our live stream and see if it's working. Excellent connection. Looks like it's working. Okay, so that's working. And now I just gotta bust open Instagram here because we're gonna be streaming on Instagram also. So Instagram, we're gonna go details, we're gonna call it episode 5. Roast, R-O-E-S-T, roasting with AirWave. Update. Right. And what's up, James English World? Pretty sure the James we're referring to is myself. Okay. And I just need to open up my own feed so that I can see. Let's see, DiFluid. Cool. Okay. Now let's do this.
If you can change the army and the omics and the calculator, swap their place, it would be great.
Why?
From this angle.
Okay. Okay, so let's set this up so you can see. I might need to get a little further away. You can see everything that's going on. Okay. A little further away. That way you can see some fun stuff going on. It would honestly be better if I could make it horizontal, but I probably can't. It's okay. It's more fun. I'm gonna have to go this way then. Because otherwise you can't see me. I'm not in it. There's no point.
You're here. You'll be, last time you said here, so you're filming here.
So if I film here, you can't see the whole machine.
You cannot do this here? Oh.
It's not horizontal.
Oh.
Instagram is a vertical stream.
We're talking to
3, 2, 1. I am now live. Okay, I'm live in 2 places at once. So, hey, back at it again. That's right. I got some advice from the guy who grows the coffee that I'm using. So, let me open up the stream so I can see what's going on. Okay, yeah, so I'm gonna, this time my goal is I'm gonna roast 3 different ones using a technique that you guys taught me last time. I'm gonna go by inlet temperature, but I'm gonna drop it at 200 degrees on the dot. And I'm gonna do it where it takes a different amount of time to get there every time.
Can't see you either.
No?
Or can
Fix
I
it.
join?
Yeah. But I gotta get set up. So let's see, what am I doing here? What's the first thing I gotta do? We've dropped 52 frames so far.
Oh,
Okay, so we're gonna go to the roast curves.
move these up here a little bit.
Go ahead. We're trying to make it so that people can at least see me if we're gonna be on Instagram. Because otherwise they can't see anything. Okay, so we're going to go back to what we did before. We're going to start a complete from scratch profile. How do I do that again? I can't remember. I lost my window. Where is it? Okay, we're going to go to profiles, create new profile, and we're going to do inlet temperature profile. And I'm going to do 3 different ones. So the first time, I'm going to stick with what he had said. And I'm going to set it to... Oh wait, no, it was 2? Actually, no. Okay, so let's just set it to... I completely forgot what we did last time. So I'm going to set it to... I'm going to set it to... Let's go... Actually, let's do one where it's really high, because I want to get like some vast differences. So let's go 380. 380. I'm not going to roast it for more. Let's see. I don't think at 380 it's going to take that long, so we'll just leave it like this. Our preheat temp, which, oh, I should probably turn everything on first, huh? Because it's going to have to preheat. So, yeah, so let's turn everything on first. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go Shazam, AirWave's on, roasting machine on. Alright, let that preheat. Let that go. Okay, so we're heating. Now, it probably is. It says it's having trouble loading on here, so it's probably broken. Yeah, the Instagram stream is broken. Let me try this again. Hold on.
You're not alone. Good.
Oh, did you quit it?
No, I just redo the refresh.
Still says we are having trouble loading this live video. Let me get back to my curves while we try to figure everything out. Okay, so we're doing 370, we're doing 380. Our preheat temp, I want to keep it really hot. All 3 times I want to do hot. So we're going to do 225. Still having trouble loading.
It's fine here. I think it's just slower. Yeah.
I'm going to quit Instagram and make an attempt to fix it. I apologize for the slow intro. Okay, so that's going, we're going to do, this profile is going to be called Hot and Fast. But I'm still going to label it Kaku. It's from the Kaku farm. It's still having trouble loading. I can't get it to work. Does it, let me see.
Yeah, now it's following.
See if it works now. At least YouTube is working. YouTube seems to be more functional than Instagram. Okay, I changed our display to dark mode. I wish I didn't have to change it every time. Let's see if I can figure out. Someone told me that I should be able to change the inlet temperature manually. But when I go on here, machine, I have preheat target, fan ratio. Oh, there's more stuff here. Okay, I didn't realize I could scroll. Use NPA set. I don't have any idea what that means. RPM, chassis fan ratio, heater fan ratio. I don't know what to do with those settings. And then let's go to ROEST. Trigger count, sensitivity. Nothing else on that page. Okay, let's try display. No, there's nothing else on that page. Is anyone joining on Instagram, or is it still broken?
Is it broken?
I still seem to be unable to join. Try one more time. Alright, so we're doing the Kaku, we're doing hot and fast. Our batch weight is still going to be 160. Our end condition is going to be bean temp though. And our bean temp is going to be, I really want to do a light roast. Still having trouble. Why? Why won't you load a simple live stream? It's not that hard. Are people at least able to join?
Just one join and then drop and then one join. 刚刚有 join， 然后应该是有卡，而且变得很暗，是因为这只是
What? 0? Does that mean it hasn't started?
刚刚有人用吗？它是用
Carolina paused due to poor connection. There is no poor connection. I would like you to know that, Instagram. The connection's actually totally fine. See? Checking connection. You're live. So clearly, should work. Don't understand what the issue is. I apologize. It says, digitized fluid started a stream. Oh, hey, it worked now. So all I had to do was tell Instagram, no, you think you're working, but you're not working. Hi, guys. Okay, we're back at it. We're back at it, and we are working hard. Okay, so we're doing an inlet temperature profile. We're going to stick at 380 the whole time, and we're going to end at 200 degrees. That's what I'm deciding. We're going to keep the classic drum direction. And that's the only thing I'm going to set, up to 10 minutes. Except, I think I'm going to set this up to... I'm going to do... Hey, Luffy Coffee! Welcome! I'm setting the temperature curve, sorry, the inlet temperature curve. Let's do 13 minutes is the maximum. I'm not going to get there on probably any of the roasts, but I'm going to set it so that it's, if I do go that far, alright, 13 minutes, 1 second. Create profile. So we're going to assign, I'll assign them all afterwards. So, okay, so this is hot and fast. Then we're going to do hot and medium. So we're going to do the same preheat temp, same bean temp, same everything, but it's going to take longer because I'm going to set the inlet temp down to, let's see, what did I say I wanted my final temperature to be? 200? So let's set it to 300. Exciting indeed! I don't know how much you can see. If you're curious, I've got this whole stream set up on YouTube, so if you want to see like a wide-angle view and everything, you can join on YouTube. If not, we can talk here. So let's see. That's good. Everything else is good. Everything else is the same, just I'm changing the inlet temperature, and I want to end at 300 also, not 305. Okay, we're going to save that as a new profile. And then we're going to do one other one. We're going to call it hot and slow. I don't know why it's hot, because it's clearly no longer hot, so I probably should have called it something else. Maybe I will. I'll set this one at 250. Oh, I can just do it this way. I didn't realize that'd be way faster. 250, and then we're going to set at 13 minutes our inlet, not 500, 250. Okay, so 250 all the way, and we're going to call this, we're going to call it cool and slow. Update profile. Okay, so we're going to go to all of our profiles. We've got hot and fast, cool and... Wait, what? Did I hit update instead of new? Damn it! Okay, well, I guess I gotta set the middle one again. So we had hot and fast. This is going to be called medium and medium. Medium and medium. And then, what did I say? This was supposed to be 300. And this is 300 also. And we're doing save as new. But the bean temp drop condition is always going to be 200 degrees. Okay, so then we'll go to our profiles. I don't speak English, but it's an honor to be here. Wait, that was English! No need for English, just watch the roast happen. So, let me just assign these three. So, these three, they're all jarred and ready to go. I'm going to give them to my friend, and when I get my feedback on how good it was, I'll present it back to you. So, we're going to replace these three. So we've got hot and fast, which we're going to replace this one. Then we've got medium and medium, which we're going to put above hot and fast. Replace Carl Dark. And then we've got cool and slow. And we're going to replace Carl, medium, dark. Assign a machine. Okay. Wait, hold on. Oh, wait, no, yeah, okay, we're good. So inlet temperature for all three. I will soon go for the purchase of R2 for my... All right. When you do buy R2, you can try out, we have Coffee OS now. So for the longest time, it was only DiFluid Cafe, which was fine, but we took basically all the feedback from years and years and years of, and I guess it's not that many years. How many years is it? It's been about 3 years. We took all the feedback across 3 years, and we're like, okay, rather than fixing all of the things that people would like to have incorporated into DiFluid Cafe, we're just going to completely start over from scratch and build it around like everyone's use case. So it's not fully there yet because there's a lot of use cases and there's a lot of stuff that we're going to add, but it's pretty cool because right now it's already like significantly improved. But if you're doing it for pour over methods, it's got 3 different brew control charts because it includes the new one, the sensory brew control chart, and the updated classic brew control chart. So that's really nice. But if you're using like espresso, it's a little bit unintuitive right now because it wasn't really designed for that brew method yet. Like we're still planning on incorporating new stuff. And it's possible to use, but it's not super straightforward. You got to go into the settings and change your standards for espresso. So, but yeah, you'll have a lot of fun with R2 because of this new app, Coffee OS. So that being said, let's check. Our inlet temperature is at 207, our drum is at 128.7, and our air temperature is just under 200. That's the wrong profile though, so let's do a quick sync. You check over on OBS, make sure you can see everything okay. Ooh, we're getting an upgrade here. Here, let me carefully lift my computer. Alright. A tall upgrade. That's pretty good. Alright, so let's move over to our... Hey, what up, Firas? Firas? I never found out how to properly pronounce your name. Will ChatGPT know? How do I pronounce the name Firas? First syllable sounds like fee, second RAS rhymes with bus. Firas. Firas. Is that right? What up? Okay, let's do a quick test of our beanie beanies. So let me change this to pre-roast testing. Sweet. It's a cool view, isn't it? What am I missing here? Oh, curves. You don't get curves here. Okay, so we're going to come over here to our phone, where we've got connecting. Sweet. Okay, so we're going to come over here. This is a fun setup, isn't it? In case you're curious on Instagram, what's actually going on here is I've got a camera here, and a camera here, and a camera here, so you can, and like the phone here, so you can see on the screen what's on the phone and what's going on over here, so it's a little easier to tell what's going on. Which is why I'm so excited. So, Omics is on. So I'm going to pop this down here for a second where you cannot see it. Okay, maybe I'll put it here, even though I guess it doesn't matter that you can't see it because I'm going to just do this. We'll bring that back when it's ready, and we're going to open up our massive bag of coffee, which, let me just remind everyone, I'll step in front of this right here so you can see. So we are roasting a coffee from China, from Yunnan. It's from a region called Monglian. I don't know actually the tones on that. And the farm is called Kaku. So it's a single origin. It's grown 1,400 meters plus. It is a catamore, and it's a washed processed coffee. And this is what we've been roasting every day. And we're roasting it until that bag is gone, and I've learned everything there is to possibly know about that coffee. So that's why, yes, some exciting content on the way. Wait, follow back, I missed something. Oh, you're saying you got some exciting content on the way. I will follow you. I'm not on, oh wait, I am on my own account here. Here, I'm gonna, oh, I can't leave the stream. I'll do it afterward. Okay, so let's put the sample that we're going to be roasting on here. See that okay? Yeah, we can see everything. Cool. So the goal of today is I want to understand if I'm roasting with the goal of a light roast. And I do it over a different amount of time with different temperatures. How does it taste different? So my goal is really to actually like learn how. I don't want to just do what the internet says or like download other people's curves. A, because there isn't a lot of stuff about Chinese coffee specifically, but B, because I really want to get it. I want to understand how coffee is affected by different like roasting methods and whatnot. So I'm just trying to practice with everything. So the first one we're going to do is, let's do cool and slow first, because that means that the temperature will probably drop back down. So we don't have to wait for it to heat so much. Although actually, wait, hold on. Oh, but it still has to heat, yeah. Because I set the inlet temperature. Yeah, okay, so yeah, this is a good idea. So let's go, we'll put this guy in here. Pop the top on, give it a test. Oh, I should probably, hold on, before we do that, let me do the test on the device so that it imports. There we go! Alright, alright. So, our moisture content today is 9.3%. It's been fluctuating between about 9.1 and 9.5. Most of the time it's been around 9.3 though, so pretty good. The density doesn't really change, the bulk density, it's pretty much the same every time. We have our estimate density, which is like an estimation of the true density based on all of the other metrics that it has in the system. And then our air temperature, 27 degrees, 55% humidity, we're at 300 meters above sea level, which actually, I guess that's about right, 300 meters? Yeah, okay, so let's save that. And I'm going to dump this back into the coffee bag. I don't like to waste coffee. I'm actually going to do the same with the ones that fell off here. There we go. It goes back in the bag. Seal her up. And okay. Pop this guy back out. And are we ready for roasting? Are we ready for roasting? Some people write little mistakes letters like Furus. Yeah, that would help to pronounce it properly. Okay, are we at the right temperature here? Our inlet temperature, I don't know if you can see. Let me see how close we are on. So we're done testing. Let's do test and roast. Wait, is that the yes? So how clearly can you see the screen there? Maybe I should zoom in. Here, I'm going to move omics to this side, the cough meter in the middle. Got to be a little bit more here, that way you can see better. And then I'm going to move the camera. Hi guys. I'm going to move the camera a little bit this way. And then I'm going to see if I zoom in a little bit more, but then you can't see the top. I guess I'm going to have to stick with this. I just want you to be able to see the information on the roasting machine. Let me try lowering the ISO a little bit. I think that's a little better, but yeah. Okay. Guess that's as good as it's getting. Okay. Lower my brightness here. Hey, what's up, Gabriel? How are ya? We're doing 3 roasts today, where we do a constant inlet temperature, so that we can roast to the same temperature over a different amount of time and see how it tastes different. I'm not going to include that bean. Okay, I think we're ready. Drum temperature is 142.5. Inlet temperature is at 235. Cool and slow. Target temp's 200. Air temperature is 225. Oh right, because we have a preheat temperature. What was our preheat temperature? I already forgot. Before I give it a go. Our preheat temperature is... We're going to cool and slow first? Yeah. Preheat temp's 225. So that means 225 air temperature. So that means as soon as I drop it in, the inlet temperature is going to have to go. That's fine. We'll just see how it goes. Alright, here we go. Let's turn this guy on. And dump our coffee in. Alright. Are we ready? And roast! sorry, what? What was that? What? Okay, apparently I can't set the end temperature to 200 because when it drops in, the temperature jumps up to 200. Okay, so what I'm going to have to do here is I'm going to just say none on the end condition, update profile. And I'm going to have to do that on all three. That was kind of hilarious, and hey, Danny. Okay, I am setting the inlet temperature to a constant temperature across 3 different temperatures so that I can learn how different roasting times up to the same temperature affect the taste of the beans. And because I want light roast, and I haven't really gotten the flavor that I want, so I'm trying to figure it out. Oh wait, I already did that one. I need the hot one. And I don't know if you had joined already when that happened, but the beans dropped. I hadn't even had a chance to look at the live, so let's see what happened before we go. So if you're on Instagram, I'll just have to tell you what happened. If you're on YouTube, you can see what happened with me. So let's go the log. Wait, what? They didn't log that? 3:59 p.m. yesterday. 19 logs. What's going on here? Now it's not loading them at all. Refresh. It didn't record that roast. That's actually kind of interesting. Unless I have it like set to, yeah, September 20th. September, yeah, it should have shown, but it's not there. Okay. Live. Batch 21. Nope. Alright, well, that was really weird, and let's try again. So, we're gonna go sync. Cool and slow. It basically did not do anything. So that may affect our results ever so slightly, but who cares? Okay, let's try again. So I'm going to have to drop it manually when it gets to my right temperature. So that'll be what we do differently this time. So here we go. Ready, go. We're roasting. Okay, let's change this to live. See what's going on. So I assume what happened the first time is it started at like 200 and immediately dropped the beans. I wonder why that hasn't happened previously, because it always is like the bean temperature right now it says 107, but it always starts really high because it had no beans in there. So I don't know how to avoid that in the future. Alright, let me bring up so you can see what you guys are seeing. Alright, that looks pretty good. Yeah, I was just as confused. There is. So, yeah. I'm going to get ready to turn AirWave on. Not quite yet, but soon. And we're at, bean temperature is at 95. So it actually was still dropping for a while. And let me, so it dropped down to, at its lowest, the bean temperature was 86.9. But the instant that I dropped it, the first data point is 206.3. So that's why I don't really fully understand how that works. I don't know if you were watching the...
Watching now.
Oh. So I don't understand, like if I want the bean temperature to be anything below 206.3, is it just automatically going to drop if I tell it to drop at a specific bean temp? I'll have to ask ROEST. ROEST? Is it ROEST? I'm not fully sure how to pronounce it because I'm not Norwegian. I've just been saying ROEST. ROEST. So, our curve's looking very smooth. Our bean temp is at 123.8. When we get to 3 minutes, I'm going to turn AirWave on. Turn the normal filtration on. Right now it's just on fan mode. I don't understand how the machine determines the drum speed because it seems to automatically adjust it for me. It's set to 50 and sometimes it goes down to 45 and right now it's at 55. So I don't know how the machine actually determines what drum speed to use. But we're going. It's so fun. Okay. 3 minutes, 30 seconds. I should turn AirWave on. So let's see, we're going to go in here. We're going to go into these settings. We're going to change it to normal filtration. And then we'll go back to the main menu. 35% fan speed. Alright, so AirWave's heating up. Back over here. What's our bean temp at? 143. We're at 4 minutes, bean temp at 143. Bust out my curves. Okay. It's slowing down. Why would it slow down though? Oh, because it was so much hotter before. Okay, that makes sense. So it's probably just going to maintain this trajectory permanently. So yeah, I get it. So the temperature that I start at is really affecting how quickly the beans go up. So if I start at like an ultra high temperature, what do you guys think is like the maximum highest starting temperature? And should I go by drum temperature or air temperature? I would think drum temperature, right? Because it moves so much slower. So our bean temp is at 152. I heard an unfamiliar sound. Oh, I forgot to test the water activity. Oops. That's alright. It'll be similar to what it was before. Alright, so our blue line is what? Exhaust temperature, 166. It's pretty constant. That's pretty cool. It's starting to smell really nice. What time are we at? 5:45? Inlet temperature is at a really constant 250 degrees. Bean temp is at 160, almost. We're at 159.4. It's rising like so smoothly now. 160, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, 161, 0.1, 0.2. This is going to be a long roast. I kind of have a feeling that this roast is going to go on much longer than I anticipated. Hopefully not more than 13 minutes. I also wonder, like, by the time it gets to, like, the first crack stage, will the beans be, will they heat any faster or slower if I keep a constant temperature? I hear a weird sound. at 165, and we're almost at 7 minutes now. $166.2. So let's see, if we're on this current trajectory, we should probably be able to see, it looks really smoothly on the screen, yeah. So I'm thinking we should probably be able to see exactly if it follows this trend. It'll get to 200 at like 12 minutes or so. Oh, now it's going to be even lower, maybe like right here. So probably about 12 minutes and 30 seconds. 12 minutes, 29 seconds. Not too shabby. I think we'll be alright. I'm curious how, like, what temperature the first crack will happen at. It looked really smoothly on the screen. Oh yeah, you already did that. Yeah, I'm wondering how this will taste at such a long roast. A lot of people are saying, like, if you roast too long, you get, like, papery and muted, not very nice taste. But it's always, like, an arbitrary amount of, like, a long roast. And I bet you, like, there's got to be some variation in different kinds of coffees. And so I'm really curious how this is going to turn out. I'm going to try to figure out, while we're doing the next roast, I want to start doing some testing, and I want to do some grinding. But since both AirWave and the roasting machine take the full amperage available to one circuit, I have to plug everything else into different outlets. So my computer's plugged in outside over there. And then my grinder here is not plugged in. I gotta figure out where I can plug it in. Ooh, the smell is changing. It smells really nice all the way through, but now it smells like roasting coffee, whereas before it actually kind of smelled like baked coffee, which I've heard is not a pleasant taste, but I don't really know. I've never tasted it. Maybe I discovered something new. So we're at 9 minutes, 30 seconds, 177 degrees. Check on our curves here. Yep, I think we're doing all right. According to the trajectory, it looks like oh, it seems to be slower than I thought. So maybe I wonder what happens if it gets to the end of the profile set inlet temperature. Is it just going to go off on its own? I don't really know what's going to happen here. I didn't consider that. I really wonder how much this is going to affect the flavor. 10 minutes, 30 seconds. Probably have my Rubik's Cube here, huh? So if you're just joining now, we are 10 minutes and 40 seconds into our roast. We're trying to get up to 200 degrees, but I'm at a fixed constant temperature, and I want to see how the results go. So if we get past 12 minutes and 13 minutes and 13 seconds or something, whatever it was set at, I think it's 13 minutes and 1 second. If we get past that, I don't know what the roast is going to do. Because it's not told to do anything. But it also does not have an end condition. So I don't know if it'll just end anyway, or if it'll just keep going where it's already set to and not change. Should be interesting. I don't know if we'll get there or not. It looks like, based on our trajectory, we may go past it. Yeah. It's thinking we won't get there until long past 13 minutes now. So I wonder what's going to happen at 13 minutes. Oh, I forgot. Interesting. I'm losing beans, otherwise I would have. That was kind of weird. I don't know how that happened. One bean fell out here. That's really weird, actually. But look how dark this bean is, even though it's only at 185. I apologize, Instagrammers. If I hold this up to you guys, you probably won't be able to see it. But if you go in the YouTube, you can see it pretty clearly because the camera will properly focus. I think. I'm actually not looking at it. Let me see. Oh, there we go. What? There we go. Alright, we're at 13 minutes. What's going to happen to the inlet temperature? Is it going to stay constant? It looks to be staying constant. Cool. That's what I was hoping for. What happened here? What's this drop? The drum pressure. Oh! Whoa! That's awesome! That's literally exactly when I took this out, the pressure dropped. And then it went right back up when I put it back in. That's fascinating. So it really knows. But I'm starting to realize this is really fascinating to me. I didn't think that, like now the bean temperature is at almost 190. But it's heating up way slower than it was before. Like we're way past normal roasting time now. We're at 14 minutes. But I'm just going to keep it going for the sake of experiment. But I'm curious to see what the difference in color is going to be. This should be very interesting. Our inlet temp's still at 250. Good there. We're at 1420. And we're just approaching 190. So I think we still got some time to go. So who wants to make some bets? At what point is first crack going to start? What temperature is first crack going to start? It's like flattening out. That's really interesting because the inlet temp is 250, so I would imagine that it would, so clearly as it gets closer to 200, the speed at which the temperature is rising keeps lowering. Which I get. The air temp is only 222. I guess it's much closer. It's interesting how the inlet temperature can be so carefully controlled, but the air temperature ends up being so different. I wonder how much control we have over the air temperature. If I were to leave the whole time, if I were to leave the air temperature like this, do you think it'd just be exactly a straight line like the way the inlet temperature is, or do you think it would have some variation to it? $191.2. We're at 1550. How long is this roast gonna go? This is so fun. I did not think that this is what was going to happen here. So I'm glad that the next roast is at 300, but that still means that that roast is going to be quite long. But then the 380 roast should probably, I've done that before. I think 380 was what I did it at yesterday. I'm not 100% sure, I can check, but not that important. 192. We're probably looking at like a 20-minute roast. Science! I think it'll finish at 18 minutes. 194 is when you think that the cracks are starting. Alright. I'm hoping for the cracks at 194. And I think it's much longer than 18 minutes. I'm going to go 21 minutes and 40 seconds. That's my guess. But I'm still fascinated by it. Literally, look how dark that bean is. I wish we had OmniFlux. I could probably measure this one bean. $193.4, 17 minutes. Yeah, no way. No way 18 minutes. But we're 0.4 degrees away from when you're saying that the first crack's going to start. So let's see. First crack? What the guy who grows the coffee, what he told me to expect is that if you roast too slowly, he said you won't build up enough steam pressure to actually get cracks. So let's see if we even get cracks at all. I think it's very possible that we might just not even get any. Okay, I saw wrong. But I think it'll... Oh, something changed and I didn't see what it was. 1822. Man, if it even thinks past 20 minutes, we're not going to get there. It predicted bean temp 198.5. German slow roasting is also a way to go. Okay, so speaking of that, Luke, I was watching old American coffee commercials where they were talking about, it was like all about the like hardcore sexism where it's like the woman makes the coffee for the man in the morning and it has to be good coffee. But they, like, everything is about instant coffee and like Folgers and instant Maxwell House. And one of the things that they say is slow roasted, the way it used to be. And then the other thing they like to say is with warm bean flavor, made from beans still warm from roasting. And I always thought that was hilarious because it's like literally the exact opposite advice of what people tell you to do now. Almost. Still no cracks. 198. We're approaching 20 minutes. So let's see. What does it think we're going to end at? 20 minutes, 49 seconds is the prediction by the... well, now it's gone down. 20 minutes, 51 seconds. Alright, I'm going to get ready to drop them. Testing is going to be very interesting on this one. Omics even auto-powered off, it took so long. 199.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, we're at 1.6 degrees Celsius per minute. I didn't realize that was there before. 0.9, 200. Interesting. Okay, wait, let me change the next one to medium and medium. That is so interesting. So literally, color has pretty much nothing to do with time and temperature. It's totally its own thing. So OmniFlux is going to be fascinating. Let's see if you, how well you can see this. Let me, hold on, let me pull this up on my computer so I can see what you can see. There. This in compared to, let's see, I don't have other coffee in the room here, but that is 200 degrees. And people were telling me before that the temperature is like an indicator of the color. Maybe that will be more true for the center, maybe not, I'm not really sure. But when this finishes cooling down, we're going to give it a color test. In the meantime, I guess we can turn Omics back on. And we'll give our second batch another test. So here, let me switch back to pre-roast testing view. Let's give our next batch of green coffee another test. The reason that I'm doing it like this is just so I can get like not every bean is the same, and I like to get like a daily average so I can see over time. If I'm being completely honest, I am not the one who designed DiFluid Cafe, so I don't actually fully know how it works because I'm not adept at using it. I am in charge of Coffee OS, our new app, which I'm much more familiar with, but we haven't yet built the tools that go with Omics. And so whenever I have to use DiFluid Cafe, I am like a normal user because I have to, oops, I didn't mean to do that again, test. Because I know that there is a way that we can check the, let's test water activity. I know there's a way that we can check. Hey, what's up, Anders? You made it! So let's see. You can see, if for those of you who can't see the YouTube screen, oh wait, sorry. I keep forgetting. I've got an iPad here so that I can see what you guys are saying so that I don't have to go over there to go see. And I forgot that you guys can't see what's on camera here. But so basically, I've got on my phone here, DiFluid Cafe. So we are measuring the water activity of this coffee. And then I'm going to put these beans back in. It has to cool down the internal mirror in order to measure the dew point. And it's right next to the hot roaster, so I think it's taking a little while for it to cool down. There we go. So the results are 0.513. So like I said, the reason that I want to measure it each time is so that I can get 3 different results for each one, and I can save. And then I believe if I go to, yeah, you can see when I've measured it over different days, how it changes over time. How do I zoom out on the date though? Let me see, maybe if I go to green bean, kapu, data. Why is it only showing me the 19th? Well, you get the idea. I'll have to still figure out how this works, but now we've measured that. Okay, so I'm super curious to measure the color. We're going to do the ground coffee color also, but I need to grind the coffee to do so, and I can't plug in the grinder in this room, so I might have to run out to do that. But in the meantime, I'll let you Instagrammers see how that turned out. So this is 200 degrees over 20 minutes and like 40 seconds. I forgot the exact time. And let's see, which camera is that? Probably this one. So that's how that turned out. In case you can't tell, it's kind of hard to see. The reason it looks so uneven is because the chaff hasn't completely come off, so a lot of these beans, like the chaff needs to be peeled in order to see the actual bean color. And normally, if you're just going to roast it, it's not really an issue. And if you're going to test the color with these devices, it's not an issue if there are pieces of chaff in your sample. But it is an issue if the whole surface of the beam like that, like it's not, it can't ignore that. Although if it's on half a beam like that, it might register it as that, but again, it's an algorithm. So it is using camera vision to kind of determine where is chaff and where is beam. So if you just accept whatever it said, like for example this beam, the entire surface of it is chaff. There's no way that the machine is going to recognize that that is chaff, so you're going to have to be careful with that. But for the most part, I'm going to do a test with both with Omni, dropping beams on the floor, both with Omni and with Cough Meter, so you can kind of see and compare and contrast the difference. But before we continue with that, we should roast our next sample. Did I select? Yeah, we're medium and medium. Drum temp is up to temp. We're at 149.2. Air temperature is 225, same as before. And we're not going to have to drop for quite a while, so I think it'll be okay. I can dump these out and put them somewhere else. So I think we're okay to do our next batch. Are we ready, guys? Here we go. Am I forgetting anything? Medium, medium. Nope, we're good. So again, we're going to stop at the exact same temperature, but we're going to measure the color and see how it compares. So here we go. Roast! Alright, let's continue with what we're doing here. Do some measuring. We've got our little scraper dude. Oh, that fits perfectly. That's actually hilarious how well that fits. We're going to scrape on here. Flatten it out. Okay, and then we'll do cough meters as well. So just to get kind of an understanding, if you're interested or if you've never heard me explain before, the sample size with cough meter is larger than Omni. Larger sample size always means more data, but the way that cough meter and Omni test color is not the same. So you can see just by looking at the inside of them that the inside looks different. Just that the entire fundamental way in which the two devices measure color is different. Omni will give you, it's like a color scanner. A1, cough meter A1, is like a color tester. So this is more like an Agtron machine. It will just give you the color of your sample, which is why it's kind of necessary to have a larger sample, because it's giving you like an average intensity across the whole sample. When you measure with Omni, it's scanning the entire surface using like it takes an image of it using near-infrared light, and then they both use near-infrared light in how they take the measurement, but then Omni can post-process the image and check the intensity of every pixel, and then build a distribution waveform out of it. So the result, you'll get your average on both, which should be pretty much the same, but you won't get, well, that's interesting, but you won't get the distribution on cough meter. So again, these two samples are also different, and cough meter does not have the ability to reject chaff with an algorithm. So what you can see here is there are quite a few beams that are covered in chaff. I need to, oh, you're right, I need to change the screen. Let's change it to test and roast. Thank you. What are we even at? 144. I should probably keep an eye on that. Yeah. Thanks for letting me know. So yeah. Wait, what? What? Why did your message disappear? You said I needed to change the screen, and then the message disappeared. Why did your message disappear? That's super weird. Did you recall it or something? Huh. Okay, well anyway, yeah, so CoffMeter can't reject these, so the result is slightly different. We've got 57.4 and 58.3, but also you have to keep in mind that both of these are measuring different beams. They're all slightly different size, slightly different density, slightly different construction, so they're never going to be perfectly even. So if you're testing different beams, you can expect the result to be very similar, but slightly different. So 57.4 for CoffMeter and 58.3 for Omni. And then you can see here how the breakdown works. So you just get the standard answer here. But on Omni, you can literally compare the difference. Like, that's how much of it is extra light versus that's how much of it is very dark. And this is like every pixel across the surface, what I can see there. So I think it's fascinating that we're looking at like a 58, even though that was only up to 200 degrees. So it's going to be really interesting to see I accidentally deleted my mistake. My bad. Okay, that's okay. I just thought it was my bad. I didn't know what happened. Okay, so where are we at? We're going to get to 200 at about 8 minutes. Okay. So that's a more normal roast time. But it's interesting that I only raised the temperature by 50 degrees, the inlet temperature. And it's more than twice as fast. That's very interesting. So I guess in the meantime, we've still got time. I'm going to measure the third batch here. Oh, crap. Okay, hold on. I should probably put the coffee into a vessel, so that I don't make a mess here. So we've got this guy here, we'll dump this into here. Now we'll slide that back in. And then I'll dump this back in here. And this goes in here. I will definitely be tasting and letting you know how it goes. But not during this stream. Eventually, I would like to have a more standardized way so that we can like really objectively see the results. At some point, I'm going to do some cuppings, but not for this one. We're getting close. We're at 191.1. So I'm going to get ready. The only question is how good the beans you roasted. I think they are quite good. I know the guy who grows them. Funny enough, I've never actually met him in person. I've only met him over the internet. But he's extremely knowledgeable, and he's from the Netherlands, right? I believe that's what he told me, and now I'm having trouble remembering for sure. He's Dutch. And he moved to China and bought like a whole coffee business with a goal of improving their business so that the rural people who live there could like sustain themselves on continuing to grow their coffee without having to resort to closing up shop and move to the big cities to make money for their family. So we're 199.2, I'm gonna get ready here. So he put a ton of effort into like growing this coffee business and partnering with all these Yunnan farms. Cool. Chaff is flying out. Hey, a crack! That's funny. So, okay, I'm going to switch this now to our last one, hot and fast. So that was 8 minutes, 33 seconds. I actually think this one's probably going to taste the best because that seems about average what people tend to do. But we'll see. So he put a lot of effort into like raising the quality, but when Yunnan started growing coffee, originally it was mostly for Russia, and it was like commodity coffee, essentially going to be turned into Maxwell House. And over time, as the world consumed more coffee, their quality and understanding of growing good coffee kept going up and up and up and up and up and up. And the coffee that I'm roasting here has finally reached the point where it's considered specialty coffee. But most people don't really think to China for good coffee. And so this is like, it's unique, it's interesting, it's completely different than like all of the other coffee regions. And not a lot of people have experience with it. So like even on Roast Profile, what's it called? The selection page, it does not have more than one Chinese coffee to pick from. So I always thought it was very cool to be able to do this. That was a weird way to phrase that. I think it's really cool to be able to like practice an interesting coffee that other people are not familiar with, because we can learn together. So yes, the answer is it's good coffee, but I can't tell you very much more than that because I won't know the answers to your questions because I'm not that skilled yet. So let's get started testing this one. So the last one was 58.3 and 57.4. So I'm actually just going to write that down real quick so that I can write it on the jar. So, because I like when I make it, I like to see what it is first and then think about it. So I need a pen. Let me see. Do I have a pen around here somewhere? I need a pen. Pen. Does anyone have a pen? I found my pen. Okay, so let me write this down over here in the background of my palace over here. This is going to be the container for that coffee. And I'm just going to write it down on the back here that the 20-minute roast was 57.4 and 58.3 over 2. I'm going to take the average. Okay, so that's done. So then the second one I haven't tested yet, but we are going to dump it into here. Alright, I'm going to put this guy back in here. And then we are going to test our third batch of coffee. Oh, Comex is not on yet, so here, bust that on. Let me switch back to pre-roast testing. Reconnect Omex. Omex is on and officially booted now. Let's get it out of here. Let's fill our little guy with coffee. Also, everyone who's watching, keep in mind, I'm going to be doing this a long time with this same coffee. So if you have any ridiculous, weird, fun, cool, interesting experiments that you think I should try for a future episode, like, go all out. The idea here is not to always roast good coffee. The idea is to try something interesting and see how it turns out. So that's what I'm trying to do here. You heard the crack, yeah. I thought that was quite funny. I did not get enough coffee here. Let me fill in the gap there that I missed. Whoops, I dropped a bean on the floor. Okay. Pop it in. Put our mix on top. And don't need to connect to Omni right now. Come on. Come on. Don't need Omni. Kaku. Test. And let's do our water activity also. So see, look at that, 9.5% moisture. So like, not the whole bag is the same moisture content. Some of the beans are at different places in their losing of moisture content process. So once that finishes, we can drop this. Our drum right now is at 150.9, so it's actually hotter than before. I'm sure that makes a difference, but for this experiment, I don't think it's a huge problem. Let's see, my view you guys and see what's going on screen is at 5% battery. I'm gonna swap my charger from my computer to my iPad. There we go. So our water activity is at 0.504. I'm going to dump this back in. Oh, damn it, I closed the bag. Why did I do that? One more bean right there. Throw out the bag. Lock up the bag. Make sure there's no air in there. Cover it with more coffee. Okay, are we ready? Let's see, what was our weight? So this is 156.2 grams of coffee. I put 160, but close enough. Here we go. Dump this in. I keep forgetting. I'm excited to have OmniFlux because OmniFlux not only will track the color over time, but will also automatically control AirWave. And like right now, I don't need to be in normal filtration mode, wasting electricity, because we are not roasting right now. So I could be in fan-only mode, saving a lot of electricity. Cool. So let's go. And switch to test and roast. And this one's going to be really hot, so it should be a pretty short roast. So here we go. Okay, so that's going. We can see our curves going. And let's give this coffee a test. I'm going to try to wipe off some of the chaff. But it doesn't seem to be really that possible because this one was not roasted as long. And it seems like the chaff is more firmly gripping the bean. So it's kind of hard to get it off for testing's sake. So let's just go with it. Scrape off the excess. I really wonder how this is going to actually work because most of that is chaff. And we'll know if it makes a huge difference or not based on if the results between Omni and Omix are quite different or not. Linus, you should join the YouTube stream. 你去 YouTube 看一下 Instagram 没那么好看。So yeah, we're at 1 minute 22 seconds. And our bean temperature is already at 119. So yeah, this is much faster than the previous ones. So if we go back to our curves over here, we've got a really quick upsloping curve. It thinks that this, well, we're gonna go way past real fast. So this roast should take about 3 minutes and 30 seconds according to, so measuring the inside of this coffee is gonna be really interesting. Stick around for that. Which of those DiFluid measuring devices would you say adds the most value? I would have to say it really depends on your use case. Because like, I would say if you are like, say, working in a really like, a process that's been going for a long time and you have the coffee you're using and you already know everything you're doing and all you need to do is make sure that each batch that comes out is at the same level of consistency, so you want to measure it each time. All you really need in that sense is a coffee meter A1. It's the cheapest one, it's the most straightforward, it only does that, it measures color, and it'll tell you exactly where are you at with each roast. If you're trying to experiment, gain some insight, and learn and understand like how evenly it's roasting based on maybe if the beans aren't all perfectly even, and maybe if also you're interested in measuring particle size and doing some particle analysis for like managing like pour over brews or seeing what size you need for espresso, and you're trying to like learn something and get better, Omni is excellent for that. If you are, well, let's go on a fast, 21 degrees a minute. If you will need to measure moisture content, and you want to measure color, and you want to have a ton of other information, and you really know what to do with all of that information, you need Omics. At that point, there isn't any point in considering anything else. Both Omni and Omics will give you the same type of color scan distribution. So the way that they both measure color is the same, but Omics also will measure the green coffee side. So it really depends if you need that or not. If you're like running a roastery, you probably need something to measure your moisture content, especially for bean storage. So like in that sense, if you need all of those different capabilities, I would highly recommend you go with Omics because it saves you so much time not having to measure each thing over and over and over and over and over again. Oh, we're getting close already. If you don't need to measure all of those other metrics, or if perhaps, I heard a crack, or if perhaps you want to just measure moisture and you don't need anything else, or you already have an Omni, or if like you can just get, we have Coffee Meter M1 that measures moisture content. That was fast. So yeah, it's hard to say which one adds the most value. It's more like which one adds the most value to your workflow. And I can't really answer that question for you specifically unless I know what your workflow is, but I feel like that basically was enough information for you to know what is most useful for your workflow. Okay, we did it. I was gonna say I kind of want to do one more, but let's just move on. I don't need to do any of it, so I'm gonna let it cool down. Because I don't need to do any more batches. We just need to do the testing of the inside of the bean to kind of see how it works out. So I'm gonna move from curves. Actually, this window is still pretty good. Maybe do we want to change to post-roast testing? You don't need to see this foam part, but you don't need to see the curves either. So I guess neither of these is the right one. I guess I'll just leave it on test and roast. Yeah, that was super mega fast. Mike R, I love it. It's fantastic. Looking through YouTube, came across the screen. I don't roast, but I find this process very nice. Currently an espresso drinker, love anaerobics. Okay, so Mike, it sounds like you and I are the same person. I'm literally just learning how to roast now, so like I really don't know what I'm doing. I'm using YouTube as a way to teach me, YouTube and Instagram. The Instagrammers have been really helpful in teaching me. But yeah, I literally have no idea what I'm doing, and that's kind of the fun. And I'm definitely an espresso drinker, mostly like espresso-based drinks. I do like a cappuccino every morning. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with this. The goal has been try to go through this bag of coffee, roasting about 150 grams at a time. That one actually is a washed coffee though. This one I have that I kind of been roasting off of stream. This is just kind of for myself. This is an anaerobic. Actually, to be fair, it's a high ferment natural process. I don't know if that means that it's an anaerobic fermentation or if there's like aerobic and anaerobic fermentation for coffee. I'm kind of totally unaware, but I thought it would be cool. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take that coffee, and for a couple of them I want to try to make a kombucha, but like ferment the beans with the kombucha and then roast them afterwards and just see how it affects the flavor. So if you have any suggestions on things that you think would be fun for me, hey, from Nicaragua, straight up LOL. Love it. Hi from Los Angeles, that's where I am. But yeah, so if any of you watching have any ideas that you think would be cool to try, that's the point of this stream. So we've got tons of coffee, we've got tons of time. But in the meantime, what I need to do now is we're going to test the results. We haven't done that yet. And see how they compare. I could have sworn I just saw something crawling in there. Oh, I think it was chaff flaking off. Okay, so I don't need the roasting machine on anymore. It's pretty cool at this point, so I'm going to do a shutdown. Okay, so roast is off. AirWave is off. Let's shut down roast. AirWave is going to do a quick cool down before I shut it down. And then we're going to, Instagrammers, I guess you don't really need to see anything else anymore. So I'm going to move you guys closer so you can see the testing. So, move you guys here. So you may not be able to see very clearly, but at least you can see. And for those of you on YouTube, you can see. Okay, so test. And test. Ooh, that's a 76. So let's see, you said, I have an SR800 with an extension tube, but not much experience. Made some great coffees, around 11 to 13% moisture lost. But I haven't done much since I'm busy. SR800. I don't know what that is. I'm going to look it up. SR800. Oh, okay, yeah, I've seen one of those before. What kind of coffee are you roasting? I, too, enjoy iced coffee, but I don't usually make it. I like to order that from a nice coffee shop and have them make it for me. I could actually also measure the moisture loss and everything. And I probably should. But I'm more curious about the color. Okay, so yeah, this is interesting. This is what I expected. So the Omni algorithm will take a lot of this chaff out of the sample and kind of be able to tell you what the actual coffee is, which is why we've got 71.2. Whereas because these parts look brighter, they will affect the results on A1. So if you were going to measure this with A1, you would want to try to get pieces that don't have chaff on them, so you can get a better representation of of what your actual sample is, unless it's really not that important to you, because a few points difference will make a difference if you really know what you're talking about, but it may not make such a huge difference if you don't really know what you're doing. So for my case, I'm not going to bother retesting, and also I have Omni, so I can kind of make an estimate of how much of it is affected by the color of the chaff. So I'm going to say that this is just, I'm going to stick with, in fact, I'm going to measure it twice with Omni, just so I can get a, make sure. Can you see okay, guys? Yeah. So I'm going to measure this again with Omni. Too much, down. And let's see how close we get to 71.2. If I don't scrape off chaff. This time we get 76.6. Oh, that's quite the difference. But this time I made no effort to try to scrape the chaff off. So you know what, I'm actually going to do that this time. Oh, this bean is weird. Maybe I should just pick beans that don't have chaff on them. That's going to take forever though. Let me just move it around. We'll take out the ones that have extreme chaff and the ones that look a little weird. Like this one too. Maybe this one, we'll scrape off the chaff. And maybe this one. Okay. Go ahead, take away that one. Alright, let's try that and let's see how much that affects the result. And then I'm just going to grind it, because the grinding will give us way better of an idea. Alright, so 76.6 turns into 72.3. Yeah, that sounds better. That sounds more correct. 72.3. You're very welcome, Luffy. I don't know how to pronounce this properly, and I don't want to screw it up. You say, is it Luffy coffee, or is it Luffy coffee? But yeah, that's looking pretty even. We've got like a tight unimodal distribution here. We're not getting tons of different ones, but it is still rather spread out. But I'm sure that some of it still has to do with the chaff. Okay, and then let's do the third batch, and then we will measure the inside color, which is what I'm really curious about. I'm going to try to scrape off as much of this as I can. I can turn AirWave off now. It's cooled down. Ooh, so quiet without AirWave. Ooh, I missed a bunch of stuff. Okay, wait. Ethiopians, Colombia, Honduras, Guatemala, some anaerobics, but mostly naturals and washed. I should have a sifter to remove chaff better. The main thing, it's not that there's chaff in it, it's that it's not coming off of the bean. Like, there are some beans that it's just like rock solid stuck to the bean and I can't get it off. I don't know if there's a technique for that. 77 should be around 9 to 9.3% moisture loss, but not sure. I can measure it. Recommend logging your moisture log every roast. Yeah, a moisture loss. Yeah, can you explain to me why? What is the benefit of doing that? How does that, like, what do I learn from knowing my moisture loss? Because I can do that right now. I'm curious now because you said that. So, like, if I go with just this one here, the one we just roasted, I don't know the color yet, so maybe I'll go with, I'm curious about, let me turn Omics back on, and we'll measure the moisture of this one, and we'll know our moisture loss. Very well pronounced. All right, thank you, Luffy Coffee. I love the name. Okay, so Omics is ready. Let's move this up here temporarily. Let's dump our first coffee in. Somehow I feel like the one that I roasted for 20 minutes is going to be the one that tastes the best. I wonder if that'll actually be the case. According to everyone that has ever told me anything about coffee roasting, this won't be the best tasting one. But according to just like how it looks, considering what I've experienced with stuff coming out of bags, I feel like it is going to taste the best. Okay, so let's measure. And you say... Temperature, moisture loss usually indicates how the roast is. 9 to 11 is generally light roast. I'm sure someone can explain it a lot better than me. It's funny, the other day I was like, man, I really don't know what I'm doing. And the person was like, nobody knows what they're doing, except for like 3 people who work at Cup of Excellence. So we're at 1.8% moisture. What did we start at? 9.3. So 8. Wow, my math sucks when I'm on stream because I feel like there's so much pressure. I'm just going to open a calculator. Oh, you know what? I can do this. Alright, where's my calculator? Calculator. Okay, so 9.3 minus 1.8 is 7.5% moisture loss. By temperature, I mean the bean temperature when you drop the coffee into the cold. Yeah, I figured. So the one that I dropped, so all 3 of these, since I don't know what time you joined the stream, but all 3 of these coffees, I dropped at 200 degrees on the dot. And all 3 of them, the first one was a 20-minute roast, the second one was like an 8-minute roast, and the third one was like a 3-minute, 30-second roast. The one that was almost 20 minutes was a 7.5% moisture loss. And the color here says 57.4. To be honest, I'm not 100% sure if this color is correct, because Omics has an issue that we are fixing. This container is not designed for measurement of color. It actually has a different container that's over there that we use for color measurement. So I don't know if it measures the color in this container. I don't know if it's correct or not. I have to ask, but we are working on like a streamlined, better interface for Omics. And so I will know more about that in the future. So let's test the moisture loss on our second one, which was the 8-minute, 30-second roast. Spin the top. Alright. Pop that guy in. Actually, you know what? I'm pretty sure if we move this back here, reconnect. How much did I put in and how much did I get roasted? I put in about 150 grams, between 150 and 160, something about 158 each time. That's about how much fits in the Omics container. So save that, and then I'm going to go down here, beans, test. That's just roast color. Ooh, that's way different. Oh, that's interesting. But that's a green bean test. Hold on. Confirm. How do I... synchronize data. I used to be familiar with this app at the very beginning, and then company hired me to redo the app, and I was like, let's start from scratch because I have a way different structure idea on how to be infinitely expandable, and now I don't know how to use the old app because the new one is not ready yet. If I go into beans here, it just measures roast color, humidity, data, variety, details, result, roast delta. Well, I don't know how to do it. I'll figure it out for later. I'm just going to measure. So you said how much did I get? Did I weigh the roasted beans? I did not. I don't have a scale in here. But what's in there now is 105 plus that. Unrelated question, what language Omni Interface is written? Oh wait, you can probably see better on this camera. So Omni Interface, I have it right now in English, but if you go to Settings, General, Language, we have English, Japanese, Simplified Chinese, Traditional Chinese, I think that's Thai, and Korean. If you want other languages, we have like a translation program, so like you can help us translate it and then we'll update it. But yeah, as of now, those are the only languages that we have. But yeah, that was interesting. So it's 6.8% moisture, which means 9.3 minus 6.8, 2.5% moisture loss versus the 7 from the longer roast. And then let's do the third one. So one more. Let's do batch number 3. Whoops, didn't mean to spill out everywhere, but I did. So this should theoretically be even less moisture loss than both the other two. So our result is, to really calculate moisture loss, you need the green coffee amount and the roasted out. Wait, why? Theoretically, shouldn't it be like relatively evenly lost? Because I measured the moisture amount before and after. If I measure with more coffee, why do I need the weight? Because if I measured the whole amount, like for example, this bag of coffee that I have down here is 40 pounds. Oh, you sent a link. Wait, where did you send the link? I don't see a link. Luffy. As in Luffy, not Luffy. Oh, okay. So it's not like Luffy coffee. It's Luffy coffee. Gotcha. Ooh, lots of new people are joining. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay. In the meantime, 3.7% moisture loss. Sorry, moisture content now. So 9.3 minus 3.7 equals. So yeah, right in the middle, 5.6. So moisture loss seems to have more to do, well, a lot, everything to do essentially with the amount of time, not the final temperature. That's also interesting to know. Okay, now we need to grind and measure the inside. And I'm going to try to stop wasting the coffee here. So let me get this out of the way, because I don't want to mix them together. I should have after each one cleared off the tray, and I did not. Sorry about that. Okay, this is going to go back over here. I'm not going to use Omex anymore because I have to get the separate container, and I did not. Okay, and I'm going to plug in this grinder. Since I'm going to move Omex out of the way, actually, Omex will move over here. So I have a really nice grinder. It's a hand grinder that I love to use, and I use it for everything. But since I'm doing a lot of grinding of really dense coffee that may not even be fully roasted properly, and since I'm doing a lot of other experiments, and I don't want to damage my good grinder or get it covered in like second crack oils when I do other stuff, I am going to just use this KitchenAid grinder that I found at an estate sale from back when KitchenAid was a good company. So I'm going to grind it as fine as it will go. So setting number 8. And so I will flip this guy over. Sorry, Instagram, I didn't mean to step in front of you. What up, Toasty Bean Water? So right now we've roasted 3 coffees to 200 degrees. One took 20 minutes and 30 seconds. One took 8 minutes and 30 seconds. And one took 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So now we are... That's fine, I don't need you to notify me. Okay, so let's switch back to this one so you can see, let me go to the roast curves just so that if you join the stream now you can see the curves, what we did before. So this roast, oh, it was longer than that. It was, where's the time? 4 minutes, 40 seconds. So if we go to our log, it was these 3. 200, 200, 200, and we did cool and slow, medium, and hot and fast. 20 minutes, 48 seconds, 8 minutes, 33 seconds, 4 minutes, 41 seconds. Those were our 3 times. Okay, so let's take some coffee from this batch. I'm going to try to waste as little as possible, so I'm actually not going to measure with coffee meter because essentially, we're going to get the same result. So I only need to really do Omni, and then just to avoid wasting of the coffee, because I would like to drink it. My bad, meant programming language. Oh wait, I missed something. Unsure if you can see it. I could be wrong, unsure if you can see it like now, but I think YouTube filtered it. Oh, lame. Search Sweet Maria calculate moisture loss. My bad, it meant programming language. Looks like a filtered coffee maker. That's funny, it does. I really like this grinder and I grabbed it from the estate sale specifically because the hopper is glass. Oh wait, you can't see it. Hold on. Let me move this over a bit. Better. Oh, and you know what? Since you're not looking at that anymore, let me move this view so you can see like this. I could probably actually zoom out a little bit. Okay, let me see how that looks. And then I'm standing in front of it. Okay, I'll stand here, and then hopefully we can see good. Okay, can we see? Can we see? Oh, and I need to adjust the exposure because it's a little dark. There we go. Okay, so we need about 3 grams-ish. So do I have any way of measuring? I don't. I'll just put what I think is 3 grams in my hand. And I guess there's going to be some amount of retention, but let's see what happens. result. Or if you want to see it over here, that's our result also. And if you want to see it on Instagram, this is our result. Alright, let's dump the result in here. So just so you know, this is the, that was actually still too much. So I can actually dump the rest of this somewhere. I'll use that container over there. So this is the 20-minute coffee. I'm going to dump our leftover powder that we don't need onto this tray. Just set it here for now. Cool. Okay, and then we'll even it off. I apologize if I'm standing in front of you, Mr. Instagram. Alright. Nice and smooth. Alright. Who wants to make a guess? Sweet Maria is a good source for learning roasting, but there are a lot of great books or YouTube videos that explain it in detail. Yeah, I know Sweet Maria because of that, actually. I looked up a bunch of their information about other things. And I plan on getting a bunch of books. Have not done it yet. But what's everyone's guess? What's it going to be? What's the final result? Whoop! Sorry, Instagrammers. Anyone want to guess? Alright, that's probably enough time to guess, but I imagine there's a delay. So I'm going to test it while I wait for your answer. My guess is going to be, so what was the first one? I forgot to write it down. No, I didn't. It was 57 something. It was like 58. 58 almost on the dot. So if it was 58, I'm going to imagine it's still pretty dark. I'm going to say this one is also 58. I'm going to guess 58. Life is Art. I like that name. Oh, it's much higher. Okay, 71.1 light roast. 71.1. And actually, intensely even. Look at that. Look how tall those bars are. For those of you on Instagram, these are our results. 31, 33% between 60 and 80. And then a little bit in the 50 to 60 range and a little bit in the in the 80 to 90 range. That's interesting. So 71 is the final color on that one. 71 ground. And then the 8-minute 30-second one, I forgot. But luckily, we've got Omni, so we can go back. Oops. We can go down here like this. Whoa, look at that. Look how even that is. We can go back in our history. I apologize that you can't see it on Instagram. We can go back in our history, and we can see what our other ones were. So we had, that was yesterday. So 58.3, that was that one, and then the next one was 71.2. So the 8-minute 30-second one was 71.2. And then after that, after that, the 76.6. Did I remember to measure the last one? $71.2, and then we got 76.6, and then 72.3, and then 71.1. And they were separated, yeah. So this must be these two. Those are the last ones. 76.6. Oh, that's right. So 76.6, and then I peeled off some chaff and it went back down. So the color of the really short one and the 8-minute one were pretty similar. I'm doing a good job with this video. I've been following since the start of the streaming. Alright! Thank you! That means a lot to me. That's really exciting. I was like, when I decided to do this, I was like, I think it'll be fun. I think we can like build a group of people who are interested and we can make it more and more and more fun over time, and especially because like I can get information from you guys. But I wasn't sure if it would work. I'm excited. So the color of the last one is also like 72. So that was like it was a 4-minute and something roast, and it was a 72 Agtron. Now let's grind it and see what the difference is. So this can go back over here onto this plate. And also, just while we're at it, I can show you if you really need consistency, that's what OmniVolto here is for. So I'm going to now show you how OmniVolto works. So here's our second batch. We're going to grind a tiny bit to kind of flush it out. I feel so bad wasting it, but... Okay, I'm going to dump that. Make sure we get... Whoa! Look at... You can actually even see the different color. That's awesome. I really recommend searching Sweet Maria Moisture Calculator as it can tell you how to roast a coffee. How roasted the coffee is from light through dark. Great indicator for how the roast level went, specifically if you don't own a device to measure the ground and bean color. That makes a lot of sense. Look at that Instagram. Can you see that? How cool is that? Okay. So, if we dump a bunch of this in here, maybe a tiny bit more, and we grind it up. I think it's hard to decide, but I actually think this one smelled better. But they both smell really good. Okay, so then we take this little guy here. And we're going to fill it about like that. Maybe a tiny, tiny bit more. Yeah, approximately 10. And can we see all right? Yeah. Okay, so then we're going to dump it in here. And then we're going to take a little bit more. And we're going to dump it in here. And then we're going to take a little more. And we're going to dump it in here. I think I didn't fill that one all the way, so I'm going to add a little bit more. Okay. Pop that guy down there. And boom! The goal is acquiring the DiFluid. When I see passionate people like the streamer, you just want to buy one. I like the sound of that! Okay, ready? Ready? Shazam. And slide this guy off, and you've got 3 perfect things to test. So you can get 3 samples. So let me dump this onto here, make a nice little mess. And I'm going to move this to there. And now we'll measure with Omni. Get some accurate color readings. So the color of our light roasted, 200 degrees, 8-minute, 30-second roast is... Ooh, 101%. 101.1, extra light. 101.1. And then let's see. Let's do the next one. 101.1. 100.3. And 101.2. Pretty darn even, if I do say so myself. That's pretty good. So 101.1 extra light, which is pretty much what I was going for. This seems like a really ideal roast here. So pretty much like 8 minutes and 30 seconds. A good, let's see, do you want to look at the curve on that one? I apologize on Instagram, you won't be able to see the curve, but I can actually, so that was medium and medium. So Instagrammers, here is the curve. Make that a little closer. So here are the curves. We can check our temperature went down like this, and then it was like a rapid shoot up, and then lots of good slowly. It says though, do medium, so here's a question that I don't fully understand. What exactly is development time? If you have a light roast coffee, does that mean it has no development time? Or does development time only happen at a certain temperature? I'm not sure I understand the concept of development time. If anyone could explain that to me, that would be amazing. Okay, and then now let's do the last one. So let me, I'm just going to dump this outside. We don't really need it. I'll dump it in this plant over here. Okay, we'll reset up our Omnivolto. Make sure it's in the right spot. Whoops, sorry Instagram. Plop that on top. Got this guy on top. Oh wait. There was still some leftover powder. Hold on, one sec. I'll be right there. Okay, that's clean. Once I get my workflow down, this will be a bit smoother. I keep changing it every time because I keep going, oh, what I could also do is, okay, so that's down, and there we go. Okay, so then, this goes here, and so clearly I didn't need that much. And then for the last one, I'm going to run a little bit through. Interesting. Let's see how the color compares when I dump it on top. Ah, you can see it again. Look at this. It's really different. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Okay. Ooh, answers. So, ooh, I missed a lot. Okay, so great indicator for how the roast level went, especially if you don't know to measure bean color. Oh, no wait. Development time is when the first crack starts to drop roast, I believe. That's what I thought. So after first crack begins, I give it 30 or 40 seconds of development before dropping into cooler. So does that mean, are you not supposed to drop coffee before first crack? Or is that just like an arbitrary time stage? Like, is coffee with 0 development time necessarily bad? Or is it just like, can you have a light, like an extremely light roast coffee with no development time? Look like mixed to light medium roast. Okay, well we're gonna find out. So let's see. If I just realized if I do this, I don't know how well you can see. It's like raining chaff. Whoops. Whoops. Okay. Done playing there. Now let's dump some coffee in. Okay. Grind it up. Can you hear that? That's probably not going to be very good. The motor could barely keep up. It was grinding so hard. This is why I didn't want to use my good grinder. I probably wouldn't brew it as espresso. Why? Why is that? Couldn't you just like raise the temperature of the water and then like grind really fine? Would it not taste good? This smells very plant-y. It's like literally like a plant. There we go. Yeah, it smells like a... It doesn't smell roasted. That's what I would go with. Very much an unroasted flavor profile. Oh, no! Okay, we're good. Okay, so grab a bunch of coffee, dump it in hole number 1, grab a bunch of coffee, dump it in hole number 2, grab a bunch of coffee, dump it in hole number 3, and are you ready for the results? Plant, like a smell of underdevelopment. Okay, but that's what I'm confused about. So you say plant smell is an indication of underdevelopment. But all 3 of these I did not get to first crack because like I believe the last one had 2 cracks. In fact, we can even see here. If we go to our roast profile curve here, this was the second one. So the last one, hot and fast. I believe it did have, yeah, so we had 1 crack, 1 crack, 1 crack. So we had 3 cracks total on this curve. That's it. And so all the other ones had fewer cracks, but they don't have that plant smell and were roasted significantly longer. But if the time after first crack stage is what's considered development time, then why do we use the phrase underdevelopment or a sign of underdevelopment, the plant smell, if it seems like that smell comes from like just under roasting? You see what I mean? I wouldn't grind really fine since it can bring out the harshness and bitterness in a coffee. Turbo shots are usually 15 to 18 seconds with a 1:3 ratio. Interesting. Okay. I'll have to try that. I had a turbo shot. I didn't know what it was, but they told me that it was a turbo shot. In Paris at a place called Motors Coffee, and it was awesome. And it's like a specialty coffee roaster in France. I mean, specifically in Paris. And the guy who runs it is he's the French champion of the World Barista Championship. And yeah, their coffee is excellent if you ever have a chance to go to Motors Coffee. Okay, so Lufay Coffee, you say in coffee roasting development time also called post-crack development, is the period after first crack begins until the end of the roast. Okay, that was, who was it who said that? That was what? Who is it who said it? Yes, I have, yeah, so my grinder is very loud and I have the Kinu grinder. Yes, so that what I was saying is I didn't want to use the Kinu grinder because I figured that I was going to be like, the motor couldn't even keep up. The way that Kinu grinder works, you have to vacuum it to the counter and then you crank it. And when I'm doing like really dense coffees, you have to like really crank. And it's great if you have like a marble countertop that's really smooth, but on this surface, it won't stick. And so A, it would be really hard to grind, and B, I don't want to ruin my burrs. Oh, it was you who said it, Mike. Okay, thank you. I don't have to find it now. I still want to find it though. Oh yeah, after first crack. Okay, yeah. So, let's measure. I'm super curious about this. What do we think? What's it going to be? What's our final roast value for this under-roasted coffee? Where did I put it on me? Here we are. So our last one was 101.2. This is clearly going to be less dark than that. So I'm going to go with 111.5. $122.3. So clearly, don't roast too hot and fast. 122. So this doesn't even, like, just based on the smell alone, I'm not even going to bother brewing it. But these two, I will definitely drink. And I will let you know next time how it is. 122 on the dot. And 123. What was the first one? So, oh my god, look at that. Look how evenly unroasted it is. Oh, wait, that wasn't on screen. Perfectly evenly unroasted. 123. And then if we go to show history, so yeah, we've got 123, 122, 122.3. Pretty evenly unroasted. What did the, oh yeah, look at the, all the way up here. Some of it, yeah, some of it's even above 140. That's so funny. Okay. Was there anything else that I was gonna do? I now can't weigh the final amount because that won't work. Oh, I have more information here. So, Luffet Coffee says, it's when the beans shift from, in coffee roasting development. Okay, I read that one. It's when the beans shift from mainly drying and browning reactions to caramelization and flavor development. This is where sweetness, body, and roast character are built. Underdevelopment means the beans weren't roasted long enough after the first crack, so flavors inside didn't fully form. The outside looks roasted, but the inside is still a bit raw. So, wouldn't that mean, like, by definition, that all light roast coffees would be underdeveloped? Does that mean that, like, underdeveloped coffees can taste really good? Because I know that, like, specialty coffee roasters like really, really, really light roasts. And that would, I guess by definition, if you're like all the way up in the hundreds in Agtron value, that means that your coffee is definitely underdeveloped by definition. So essentially, hot and fast was like baking bread on oven too hot. Nice crust, but raw inside. Exactly. Spot on. Alright, so I don't think I have anything else here for today. Other than, I'm going to write down the inside was 122.5, let's say. Oh, before I'm done, actually, let me one more time measure the outside color of this one and make sure that I did that right. Because it does not seem to be... I find it surprising that it would be almost exactly the same as the other one. So if I just real quick do this one more time. Let's see if I get 72 again. Mostly light roast should be floral, citrusy, and acidity depending on the... I have some myself in the grade. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking, but like, is it still considered underdeveloped, even if it has like a floral, citrusy, acidity, nice flavor? Underdeveloped coffees of generally taste like hay. See, that's why I'm still confused then. Because if underdeveloped coffees will taste like hay and not have like a bright floral, how would you get like a bright floral, citrusy acidity in a light roasted coffee, but not have it be underdeveloped if it's before first crack? So 73.9 is our answer. So 73.9. And then I'm going to do the other one more time just to be sure. That goes in there. Look how much chaff is just everywhere. Okay, let's just do that. It's like all chaff. Get out of there. Alright, let's see what that was. Each coffee is going to roast different. It varies on every coffee since the process, origin, density matters how it roasts. Got it. $86. Oh wait, no, it's high. Okay, that makes sense. So 86.9. I think I forgot to measure this one before. 86.9. Not sure what happened. But so yeah, 86.9, not 72. There we go. And then just to be sure, since now I screwed that up, maybe I should mix this up. And then do another test and see if it's in the 80s again. In the meantime, I would like to know, what do you guys think that I should do next time? In terms of interesting roast attempts with this same coffee. Washed coffees have more moisture and water in the bean than a natural coffee. Interesting. So what about, so I have a natural high ferment coffee, and it is generally, when I measure it, about 11.3 to 4% moisture, and this washed coffee is a 9%, like 9.3. Like I said, I'd recommend Roasting Basics on YouTube. Tweet Maria's channel is great info on what not to do. I will definitely do that. But I'm going to do that off stream. What should I do when I'm back on stream? Or should I use that to figure out what I should do? I really want to try infusing coffees in things, like soaking it. Like, I think it would be fun to brew coffee and then soak the beans in coffee and then roast them. Lower rate of rise so that it has more, so it's more even, the roast between inside and outside. I imagine that that would definitely help. 86.7, yeah. Yeah, I think I forgot to measure it last time. Because I got 86.9 and 86.7. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to dump these back in here. I am not going to drink these ones probably. Although maybe I could try a pour over or something. We'll see. I'll store them here for now. Yeah. Before I go, I'm going to move the Instagram over here so that we can talk at the same time. I only have 3% left anyway on my battery here, so that's going to work out in timing. Actually, I don't want my phone to die, so I'm going to say, love you Instagrammers. Thank you Lufe Coffee for watching this whole time. I'm going to turn the camera around and I'm going to say, there we go. Thanks for watching. Come up with different things that I should do. And definitely join every time we do another live stream. And we're going to have lots of fun. Thanks, guys. See you next time. End now. Okay, I ended the Instagram stream because my phone's going to die. And I don't want it to die because I particularly want to upload that what's the word? I can't think of words. I want to upload the broadcast. So if my phone dies, it'll just delete the whole thing. So I gotta plug it in real quick to make sure it doesn't die. Sorry about that. There we go. And okay, we good. But yeah, I don't actually have anything else to say on here either, other than it reading. Let's see, lower the rate of rise so that it's even more on the inside. And definitely start logging and weighing your green coffee and roasted coffee. But I don't think that you can really do that since what you're trying to do is co-ferment. There are co-ferments like watermelon, etc. that's done in process when they pick the cherries. Yeah, I'm just curious like what'll happen if I do it post-roast. Like if you search coffee processing methods on YouTube, a lot of videos on what makes a coffee, washed, natural, anaerobics, co-ferments, etc. I have seen that, but what I also saw was I saw people who were like just doing what I mentioned, like they got like lemonade and they like soaked the regular washed coffee in lemonade for like a day and then took it out and roasted it. Like what kind of results would you get from that? I feel like it'd be interesting. A roast gets dark when the beans are kept in the roaster longer and hotter after the first crack. The higher heat drives more caramelization and carbonization, breaking down sugars and fibers. You should try brewing your next. I will definitely do that. A light roast can still be developed because the beans get enough time and steady heat for the inside to cook fully, even if you stop early. The key is getting 45 to 90 seconds after first crack. I'd consult the roasting machine company since I'm unsure on your machine. Oh no, I would wait for, I'd like re-dry out the beans first, not do it like wet. So sugar is caramel, but yeah, definitely we'll research it first. I'm not just gonna, because it's not my machine. I'm borrowing it from Roast because they are, we're doing like a co-marketing thing. We get to show how AirWave works and they get to show how great their machine is. So I definitely cannot break it. So sugars caramelize and flavors form without making the beans dark. Interesting. And I have so much to learn. Let me, I'm gonna post this stream real quick. I don't want you guys to have to just stand here and stare at me, but I'm scared that it's gonna delete itself. So, subscribe. Definitely make sure you join the streams next time. We're gonna do tons and tons. I really appreciate all of you giving me all of your advice. It's been really helpful and fun, and I'm excited. We're gonna do a lot of fun stuff here. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Can't, like, a legitimate thank you. I really appreciate all of the advice and time spent in the chat teaching me how to roast from scratch. So that was episode 5. Love you all, and I will see you next time. So much great info on YouTube. Yeah. I will be watching tons of YouTube videos. Start the roast at about 100 to 200, 190 to 200, finish at 195 to 205. Usually 8 to 12 minutes. Drop the beans 45 to 90 seconds after first crack. This gives a light color but still lets the inside fully develop. They're sweet, balanced flavors. Alright. I have tons to learn. Thank you, Life is Art. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Firas. I'm not sure if you left, but if you're still here, thanks, Nair Q. And I will see all of you, and straight up, lol. I will see all of you next stream. Yeah, that is great advice. Appreciate y'all. See ya.